In the 1930s, before supermarkets and fast food, the Great Depression shaped meals from sweat and soil. Unlike today's endless choices, families relied on gardens to survive. These 25 vegetables weren't just food, they were hope, grown through hardship. Picture steaming pots, hands calloused from digging, and hearts warmed by shared meals. Each root and leaf carried a story of resilience. Stay with us. A clever root at number 10 might inspire your next garden patch. Potatoes anchored Depression-era kitchens, their starchy heft a shield against hunger. Grown in backyard patches, they thrived in tough soil, asking little but giving much. Boiled, mashed, or fried with scraps, they stretched meals when pantries stood empty. Unlike today's processed snacks, potatoes carried the earth's weight, their skins dusted with labor. Families saved eyes for planting, ensuring next year's crop. In cellars, they sat like quiet promises, outlasting winter's bite. A grandmother's skillet turned them into golden cakes, crisp outside, soft within, each bite a memory of making do. Potatoes weren't glamorous, they were lifelines, binding families to the land. They starred in soups, thickened with flour, or baked whole, their warmth a comfort against despair. Even peels, boiled for stock, refused waste. In a time when every resource counted, potatoes taught ingenuity, their versatility a lesson in resilience. They weren't just food, they were a covenant with tomorrow. A potato stew, steaming in a chipped bowl, carried the scent of hope, tying families to seasons past. Their humble bulk fed not just bodies but spirits, shared at tables worn by time. A medicinal root awaits at number 2. Turnips, humble and hardy, were Depression-era heroes, their peppery bite a staple in lean times. Grown in rough soil, they demanded little and delivered hearty sustenance. Sliced thin for stews or mashed with drippings, they filled plates when meat was a memory. Unlike modern convenience foods, turnips carried survival's tang, their roots pulled from frost-kissed earth. Stored in cellars, they lasted months, a buffer against scarcity. Grandmothers roasted them slow, coaxing subtle sweetness, a humble treat for hungry kids. Turnips doubled as medicine. Their greens, rich in vitamins, fought weakness in winter's grip. Boiled into teas for colds, they were a remedy when pharmacies were dreams. Unlike today's fad diets, turnips were practical, their bulk-stretching meals with scraps of bacon or broth. Families traded seeds, passing down varieties like heirlooms. Each bite told of fields tended through dust storms, of hands that refused surrender. They weren't just vegetables, they were defiance, grown against odds. A turnip stew, steaming on a wood stove, carried resilience's scent, knitting families together in dim kitchens. Their sharp edge, softened by fire, brought comfort to weary souls. Nothing was wasted. Cores fed livestock, leaves boiled for broth. Turnips were survival, their roots a testament to grit. A leafy staple that rolled up hope is next. Cabbage was a Depression-era lifeline, its tight leaves a gift of abundance in hard times. Cheap and hardy, it grew in modest gardens, thriving where others faltered. Rolled around scraps or fermented into sauerkraut, it stretched supplies into meals. Unlike today's processed aisles, cabbage was raw survival, its crisp bite easing hunger's ache. Stored in cool sheds, it lasted through winter, a green anchor. Grandmothers stuffed leaves with rice or barley, each roll a labor of love, their faint sweetness a comfort. Sauerkraut, tangy and sharp, preserved summer's bounty, its fizz a spark of ingenuity. Cabbage wasn't just food, it was community, shared at church suppers or traded with neighbors. Its versatility shone in soups, braises, or raw slaws, dressed with vinegar when oil ran dry. In an era of want, it taught resourcefulness, its leaves wrapping hope around every bite. Nothing was wasted. Cores became stock. Outer leaves fed livestock. Each head carried stories of survival, of hands chopping in dim kitchens. A cabbage roll, warm with broth, whispered heritage, tying families to the land. Their humble abundance fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Neighbors swapped recipes, their pots simmering with shared stories. Cabbage was resilience, its leaves a shield against despair. A vibrant root at number 4 brought color to grim days. Carrots brought color and grit to Depression-era tables, their sweet crunch a rare joy. Grown in backyard rows, they thrived in poor soil, offering nourishment when little else did. Boiled, roasted, or grated raw, they stretched soups and stews, their orange hue a spark in grim times. Unlike today's packaged snacks, carrots were pulled from dirt, their tops fed to rabbits or composted. Stored in sand, they lasted months, a hedge against hunger. Grandmothers simmered them with bones, their sweetness balancing watery broths. Grated into cakes with molasses, they replaced scarce sugar, their warmth a child's delight. Packed with vitamins, they bolstered health when doctors were a luxury. Families shared seeds, each root a link to better seasons. Unlike modern convenience, carrots demanded patience, planting, weeding, harvesting, yet rewarded with abundance. They weren't just food, they were perseverance, their snap a reminder of small victories. A carrot stew, steaming in a chipped bowl, carried hope's scent, tying families to the land. Even greens, boiled or chopped, added flavor to bland meals. Their bright hue lifted spirits in dark times, a splash of color in gray winters. Carrots were survival, their roots a testament to endurance. At shared tables, they fed communities, their sweetness a shared bond. Number 5's pods packed a protein punch. Beans were Depression-era gold, their protein-packed pods a lifeline when meat vanished. Green, navy, or pinto, they grew in modest plots, thriving through drought. Simmered into soups or baked with molasses, they filled bellies with little cost. Unlike today's fast food, beans bore the earth's grit, their texture a testament to labor. Dried for winter, they rattled in jars, a promise of sustenance. Grandmothers stirred pots over wood stoves, their slow simmer coaxing depth from onions or scraps. Green beans, strung by hand, became casseroles, their snap a faint joy. Navy beans, soaked overnight, thickened stews, their creaminess a comfort in cold months. Families traded varieties, each bean a story of survival. Nothing was discarded. Pods became broth, leftovers reheated. Beans weren't just food, they were strategy, stretching resources through ingenuity. In church basements, shared pots of beans fostered community, their warmth knitting neighbors together. Even in desperation, they offered nourishment, their humble heft a shield against despair. A bowl of beans, steaming with smoke, carried resilience, a taste of hope shared around worn tables. Their simplicity fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Beans were survival, their pods a covenant with tomorrow. Number 6's sweet pops were a garden's gift. Peas, small but mighty, were Depression-era treasures, their sweet pop a burst of hope. Grown in spring gardens, they thrived in cool soil, yielding pods for hungry families. Fresh or dried, they stretched meals, soups thickened with their starch, or fritters fried with cornmeal. Unlike today's frozen aisles, peas were hand-shelled, their pods a chore shared by kids. Stored in sacks, dried peas lasted through winter, a hedge against lean times. Grandmothers simmered them with bones, their mild flavor blending into comfort. Split pea soup, green and hearty, warmed hands and hearts, its steam rising in dim kitchens. Peas weren't just sustenance, they were versatility, pairing with carrots or herbs from weedy patches. Families saved seeds, each pod a link to next year's harvest. Unlike modern excess, peas taught thrift, every shell used for broth or compost. They were a quiet miracle, their growth a defiance of hardship. Peas carried stories of long evenings, of hands snapping pods by lamplight. Their simplicity nourished both body and soul, a testament to resilience. A bowl of pea soup, laced with onion, was survival's taste, tying families to the land. At shared tables, they fed communities, their sweetness a shared bond. Peas were hope, their tiny bursts a reminder of brighter days. Number 7's sharp bite transformed bland meals. Onions were Depression-era alchemists, turning bland meals into savory triumphs. Grown in modest rows, their bulbs thrived in tough soil, offering flavor when spices were scarce. Sliced into broths or fried crisp, they deepened soups and stews, their aroma a promise of comfort. Unlike today's processed condiments, onions were raw, their sting drawing tears in dim kitchens. Stored in cool sheds, they lasted months, a bulwark against empty pantries. Grandmothers caramelized them slow, their sweetness coaxing life from scraps. Onions weren't just flavor, they were medicine, boiled into syrups for coughs or colds. Families traded bulbs, each layer a story of shared hardship. Every scrap was used, skins for stock, tops for compost. Onions paired with anything, potatoes, greens, or bread, making the meager feel abundant. Their sharp scent, rising from a sizzling pan, knit families together, a reminder of resilience. In church suppers, onion-heavy dishes fed crowds, their warmth a communal embrace. They weren't just vegetables, they were anchors, grounding meals in heritage. An onion soup, steaming with crusty bread, carried survival's weight, tying families to the land. Their simplicity fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Onions were survival, their bulbs a covenant with tomorrow. Number 8's tangy crunch preserved summer's hope. Cucumbers brought crisp relief to Depression-era tables, their cool crunch a fleeting joy. Grown in summer gardens, they thrived with little fuss, yielding bounty for pickling. Sliced raw or brined into pickles, they stretched harvests through winter's grip. Unlike today's store-bought jars, cucumbers were hand-preserved, their tang a labor of love. Jars lined cellars, their green glow a promise of flavor when snow fell. Grandmothers soaked them in vinegar with dill, each bite a spark against bland diets. Pickles weren't just food, they were strategy, preserving summer's abundance for lean months. Fresh cucumbers, sliced with salt, offered kids a rare treat, their snap a break from hardship. Families traded recipes, each jar a story of ingenuity. Nothing was discarded. Overripe ones became relish or stock. Cucumbers paired with bread or soups, their freshness a contrast to stale days. Their scent, sharp and green, filled kitchens, tying families to the land. In an era of want, they taught preservation, their jars a hedge against hunger. A pickle's crunch, shared at a table, carried memories of brighter seasons, a testament to resilience. At shared tables, they fed communities, their tang a shared bond. Cucumbers were survival, their crispness a reminder of summer's hope. Number 9's ruby roots sweetened hard times. Beets were Depression-era gems, their ruby stain a mark of survival. Grown in backyard plots, they thrived in tough soil, offering sweetness when sugar vanished. Roasted, boiled, or grated, they colored soups and pies, their earthy depth a comfort. Unlike today's processed desserts, beets were raw, their juice dyeing hands and plates. Stored in sand, they lasted through winter, a bulwark against scarcity. Grandmothers baked them into cakes, their sweetness a substitute for luxuries. Beets weren't just food, they were medicine, their nutrients fighting weakness in lean times. Pickled with vinegar, they brightened meals, their tang a spark of hope. Families saved seeds, each root a link to next year's harvest. Unlike modern excess, beets taught thrift. Greens became soups, roots stretched meals. They paired with cabbage or potatoes, their color a rare joy in gray days. Their scent, warm and loamy, rose from ovens, knitting families together. In church basements, beet dishes fed neighbors, their warmth a shared embrace. Beets weren't just vegetables, they were resilience, grown through dust and despair. A bowl of borscht, steaming with dill, carried survival's story, tying families to the land. Their humble sweetness fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. At shared tables, they nourished communities, their ruby hue a reminder of hope. Number 10's leaves rebuilt weary bodies. Spinach was a Depression-era powerhouse, its dark leaves a shield against weakness. Grown in cool seasons, it thrived in modest gardens, yielding iron-rich greens for hungry families. Wilted in soups or eaten raw, it bolstered health when doctors were scarce. Unlike today's supplements, spinach was pulled from soil, its texture gritty with life. Stored briefly, it demanded quick use, teaching families to waste nothing. Grandmothers simmered it with onions, its earthy flavor blending into comfort. Spinach wasn't just food, it was medicine, fighting fatigue in kids and adults alike. Mixed with eggs or scraps, it became fritters, each bite a nod to ingenuity. Families shared patches, their seeds a currency of care. Unlike modern convenience, spinach required labor, washing, chopping, cooking, yet rewarded with vitality. It paired with potatoes or beans, its green a spark in bland meals, its scent, steaming from pots, filled kitchens with hope, tying families to the land. In an era of want, spinach was a quiet hero, its leaves a testament to grit. At shared tables, it nourished communities, its warmth a reminder of resilience. A spinach soup, laced with broth, carried survival's weight, a taste of endurance in lean times. Spinach was strength, its greens a covenant with tomorrow. Their humble vitality fed both body and soul, a reminder of survival's power. Number 11's vibrant stems brightened grim days. Swiss chard brought color to Depression-era plates, its rainbow stems a spark in dark times. Grown in backyard rows, it thrived through tough seasons, offering leaves and stalks for lean meals. Sautéed with grease or boiled in soups, it stretched scraps into sustenance. Unlike today's processed foods, chard was raw, its veins bright against gray days. Stored briefly, it pushed families to cook fast, wasting nothing. Grandmothers chopped it for stews, its mild flavor a canvas for scraps. Chard wasn't just food, it was versatility. Its stems diced like celery, leaves wilted like spinach. Packed with nutrients, it fought hunger's toll, a quiet remedy in hard times. Families traded seeds, each plant a story of shared survival. Unlike modern excess, chard taught thrift. Every leaf used, stalks boiled for broth. It paired with beans or potatoes, its colors a rare joy in dim kitchens. Its scent, earthy and warm, rose from pots, knitting families together. In church suppers, chard dishes fed crowds, their vibrancy a communal lift. Chard wasn't just a vegetable, it was defiance, grown through dust and despair. A chard sauté, steaming with onion, carried resilience's memory, tying families to the land. Their humble beauty fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. At shared tables, they nourished communities, their rainbow hues a reminder of hope. Number 12's roots doubled as dessert. Parsnips were Depression-era treasures, their creamy roots a sweet surprise in lean times. Grown in cool soil, they thrived where others struggled, offering sustenance through winter. Roasted or mashed, they mimicked potatoes but brought gentle sweetness, a stand-in for scarce sugar. Unlike today's processed treats, parsnips were earthy, their flavor deepened by frost. Stored in sand, they lasted months, a hedge against hunger. Grandmothers baked them into pies, their warmth a comfort for kids. Parsnips weren't just food, they were ingenuity, stretching meals with minimal cost. Boiled with carrots, they thickened soups, their subtle spice a spark in bland broths. Families saved seeds, each root a promise of next year's harvest. Unlike modern waste, parsnips were used fully, tops for stock, roots for stews. They paired with greens or onions, their pale glow a quiet joy in dim kitchens. Their scent, caramelized and rich, rose from ovens, tying families to the land. In an era of scarcity, parsnips taught resourcefulness, their versatility a lesson in survival. At shared tables, they nourished communities, their sweetness a reminder of hope. A parsnip mash, laced with drippings, carried stories of making do, a taste of endurance in lean times. Parsnips were comfort, their roots a covenant with tomorrow. Their humble warmth fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 13's golden flesh warmed cold nights. Pumpkins were Depression-era giants, their golden flesh a beacon in hard times. Grown in sprawling patches, they thrived with little care, yielding bounty for soups and pies. Roasted or boiled, they stretched meals, their sweetness a rare treat. Unlike today's canned purees, pumpkins were carved by hand, their seeds saved for planting. Stored in cool cellars, they lasted through winter, a bulwark against scarcity. Grandmothers simmered them into soups, their warmth filling hungry bellies. Pumpkins weren't just food, they were strategy, their flesh a canvas for ingenuity. Baked with molasses, they became pies, their spice a memory of better days. Families shared seeds, each squash a link to future harvests. Unlike modern excess, pumpkins taught thrift, rinds for stock, seeds roasted for snacks. They paired with beans or greens, their color a spark in gray meals. Their scent, rich and earthy, rose from ovens, knitting families together. In church basements, pumpkin dishes fed neighbors, their warmth a communal embrace. Pumpkins weren't just vegetables, they were hope, grown through dust and despair. A pumpkin soup, steaming with herbs, carried resilience's story, tying families to the land. Their humble abundance fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. At shared tables, they nourished communities, their golden hue a reminder of autumn's promise. Number 14's wild greens were a forager's gift. Dandelions were Depression-era lifelines, their wild greens a free gift from untamed yards. Foraged from fields, they required no planting, thriving where others failed. Boiled or eaten raw, their bitter leaves filled plates when gardens ran dry. Unlike today's curated salads, dandelions were gritty, their tang a taste of survival. Families steeped them into teas or wines, their roots dried for coffee substitutes. Grandmothers sautéed them with grease, their bite softened into comfort. Dandelions weren't just food, they were medicine, easing ailments in a doctorless era. Packed with vitamins, they fought weakness, their roots a remedy for colds. Foragers shared patches, each leaf a story of resourcefulness. Unlike modern excess, every part was used, flowers for syrup, roots for brews. Dandelions paired with potatoes or eggs, their green a spark in lean meals. Their scent, sharp and earthy, filled kitchens, tying families to the wild. In an era of want, they taught resilience, their stubborn growth a defiance of hardship. At shared tables, dandelion greens fed communities, their bitterness a shared bond. A dandelion salad, dressed with vinegar, carried memories of making do, a taste of endurance in lean times. Dandelions were survival, their greens a covenant with the land. Their humble vitality fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 15's subtle flavor enriched watery soups. Leeks were Depression-era saviors, their mild oniony depth a lift for bland meals. Grown in modest rows, they thrived in cool soil, offering flavor when spices were gone. Sliced into soups or braised, they stretched broths, their softness a comfort. Unlike today's processed stocks, leeks were raw, their green tops dusted with earth. Stored in sand, they lasted weeks, a hedge against scarcity. Grandmothers simmered them with potatoes, their aroma warming dim kitchens. Leeks weren't just food, they were versatility, blending into anything from stews to pies. Their subtle sweetness, coaxed by slow cooking, brightened watery meals. Families traded bulbs, each stalk a story of shared survival. Unlike modern waste, leeks were used fully, tops for broth, roots for planting. They paired with carrots or greens, their flavor a quiet joy in lean times. Their scent, soft and savory, rose from pots, knitting families together. In church suppers, leek-heavy dishes fed crowds, their warmth a communal embrace. Leeks weren't just vegetables, they were resilience, grown through hardship's grip. A leek soup, steaming with crusty bread, carried hope's weight, tying families to the land. Their humble depth fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. At shared tables, they nourished communities, their mildness a reminder of survival's power. Number 16's spicy crunch was a kid's delight. Radishes brought fiery crunch to Depression-era tables, their sharp bite a spark of joy. Grown in quick cycles, they thrived in small plots, yielding peppery roots in weeks. Eaten raw or pickled, they livened stale bread or thin soups. Unlike today's packaged snacks, radishes were fresh, their red skins bright against gray days. Stored in cool sheds, they lasted briefly, pushing families to use them fast. Grandmothers sliced them thin, their crunch a treat for kids. Radishes weren't just food, they were vibrancy, adding zest when meals grew dull. Pickled with vinegar, they stretched summer's spark into winter. Families shared seeds, each root a story of quick harvests. Unlike modern excess, radishes taught thrift. Tops became greens, roots spiced stews. They paired with butter or salt, their bite a contrast to bland diets. Their scent, sharp and clean, filled kitchens, tying families to the land. In an era of scarcity, radishes were a small rebellion, their heat a defiance of despair. At shared tables, they brightened plates, their crunch a communal lift. A radish salad, tossed with vinegar, carried resilience's memory, a taste of endurance in lean times. Radishes were survival, their spark a covenant with the land. Their humble zest fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 17's leafy abundance fed entire families. Collards were Depression-era anchors, their broad leaves a lifeline in lean times. Grown in backyard patches, they thrived through heat and cold, yielding greens for months. Simmered low with bacon ends, they turned tough leaves into tender comfort. Unlike today's frozen sides, collards were raw, their texture gritty with soil. Stored briefly, they demanded quick cooking, teaching families to waste nothing. Grandmothers boiled them with onions, their earthy flavor a balm for hunger. Collards weren't just food, they were sustenance, packed with vitamins to fight weakness. Braised or chopped raw, they stretched meals, their heft filling pots. Families traded seeds, each leaf a story of shared survival. Unlike modern waste, collards were used fully. Stems for broth, leaves for wraps. They paired with cornbread or beans, their green a spark in dim meals. Their scent, rich and smoky, rose from stoves, knitting families together. In church basements, collard pots fed crowds, their warmth a communal embrace. Collards weren't just vegetables, they were resilience, grown through dust and despair. A bowl of collards, steaming with ham, carried stories of making do, a taste of endurance in lean times. Collards were strength, their greens a covenant with the land. Their humble vitality fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 18's nutty roots were a hidden gem. Salsify, a forgotten Depression-era gem, brought nutty depth to lean meals. Grown in modest rows, its slender roots thrived in tough soil, offering sustenance when options dwindled. Boiled or roasted, it mimicked oysters in flavor, a rare treat for inland families. Unlike today's processed foods, salsify was earthy, its beige roots dusted with grit. Stored in sand, it lasted through winter, a quiet hedge against hunger. Grandmothers simmered it into stews, its subtle taste blending with scraps. Salsify wasn't just food, it was ingenuity, turning obscure roots into comfort. Mashed with potatoes, it stretched meals, its texture a soft surprise. Families shared seeds, each root a story of resourcefulness. Unlike modern excess, salsify taught thrift. Tops became greens, roots boiled for broth. It paired with carrots or onions, its flavor a faint joy in gray days. Its scent, warm and loamy, rose from pots, tying families to the land. In an era of scarcity, salsify was a secret weapon. Its versatility, a lesson in survival. At shared tables, it nourished communities. Its mildness, a shared bond. A salsify fritter, crisp with cornmeal, carried memories of making do, a taste of endurance in lean times. Salsify was survival, its roots a covenant with the land. Their humble depth fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 19's starchy bulk rivaled potatoes. Rutabagas were Depression-era giants, their starchy bulk a shield against hunger. Grown in cool soil, they thrived where others faltered, yielding roots for lean winters. Roasted or mashed, they offered sweetness, a stand-in for scarce sugar. Unlike today's processed starches, rutabagas were raw, their golden flesh gritty with earth. Stored in cellars, they lasted months, a bulwark against scarcity. Grandmothers boiled them with greens, their warmth filling hungry bellies. Rutabagas weren't just food, they were versatility, stretching meals with minimal cost. Cubed into stews, they thickened broths, their mild spice a comfort. Families saved seeds, each root a promise of next year's harvest. Unlike modern waste, rutabagas were used fully, tops for stock, roots for pies. They paired with cabbage or beans, their color a spark in dim meals. Their scent, rich and caramelized, rose from ovens, knitting families together. In church suppers, they fed crowds, their heft a communal embrace. Rutabagas were resilience, grown through dust and despair. A rutabaga mash, laced with drippings, carried stories of survival, a taste of endurance in lean times. They were strength, their bulk a covenant with the land. Their humble warmth fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. At shared tables, they nourished communities, their golden hue a reminder of winter's promise. Number 20's wild leaves were a forager's prize. Lamb's quarters were Depression-era treasures, their tender leaves a free gift from weedy fields. Foraged from yards, they required no planting, filling plates when gardens failed. Boiled or raw, their greens nourished like spinach, rich in nutrients. Unlike today's curated markets, they were gritty, their taste earthy with survival. Families cooked them quick, their short shelf life a lesson in thrift. Grandmothers sautéed them with onions, their softness a comfort in lean times. Lamb's quarters weren't just food, they were medicine, fighting weakness in kids. Mixed with scraps, they became fritters, each bite a nod to ingenuity. Foragers shared patches, each leaf a story of survival. Unlike modern excess, every part was used, stems for stock, greens for soups. They paired with potatoes or eggs, their color a spark in bland meals. Their scent, wild and grassy, rose from pots, tying families to the land. In an era of want, they taught resilience, their growth a defiance of hardship. At shared tables, they fed communities, their simplicity a shared bond. A lamb's quarters dish, dressed with vinegar, carried stories of making do, a taste of endurance. They were survival, their greens a covenant with the wild. Their humble vitality fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 21 sweet pods were a kid's delight. Snap peas brought crisp joy to Depression-era tables, their plump pods a sweet surprise. Grown in spring gardens, they thrived in cool soil, yielding quick harvests. Eaten raw or lightly cooked, they bright crunch lifted spirits in dark times. Unlike today's frozen peas, they were fresh, snapped by kids' hands in dim kitchens. Stored briefly, they pushed families to use them fast, wasting nothing. Grandmothers stir-fried them with scraps, their sweetness a spark against bland fare. Snap peas weren't just food, they were delight, a rare treat for weary souls. Added to soups or eaten alone, they stretched meager supplies. Families shared seeds, each pod a story of resourcefulness. Unlike modern waste, shells became broth, their green a reminder of spring's promise. Their crunch paired with carrots, their flavor of vibrant joy in simple meals. Their scent, fresh and green, rose from pots, tying families to the land. In an era of scarcity, they taught thrift, their quick growth a lesson in survival. At shared tables, they brightened plates, communities, their warmth a shared bond. A handful of snap peas carried memories of spring's hope, a renewal in lean times. They were survival, their sweetness a covenant with the land. Their humble crunch fed both body and soul, a testament to resilience. Number 22's astringent greens fueled long winters. Kale was a Depression-era warrior, its rugged leaves a lifeline through winter's grip. Grown in backyard plots, it thrived in harsh conditions, yielding greens when others faded. Simmered with bacon ends or boiled, it turned scraps into hearty meals. Unlike today's trendy smoothies, it was raw survival, its texture tough with earth's grit. Stored briefly, it demanded quick cooking, teaching families to waste nothing. Grandmothers braised it with onions, their sweetness a comfort in lean times. Kale wasn't just food, it was sustenance, packed with vitamins to fight weakness. Chopped into soups, it stretched meals, filling pots with green heft. Families traded seeds, each leaf a story of endurance. Unlike modern excess, kale was used fully, stems for broth, leaves for stews. It paired with cornbread or beans, its color a spark in dim meals. Its scent, smoky and bold, rose from stoves, knitting families together. In church basements, kale pots fed crowds, their warmth a communal embrace. Kale wasn't just a green, it was defiance, resilient through dust and despair. A bowl of kale, steaming with ham, carried stories of survival, a tale of endurance in lean times. It was strength, its leaves a testament to grit. Kale's humble vigor fed both body and soul, a reminder of resilience's power. Number 23's sweet flesh warmed hearts. Sweet potatoes were Depression-era gold, their orange flesh a warm comfort in hard times. Grown in deep soil, they thrived where others struggled, yielding roots for winter's store. Baked or mashed, they offered sweetness when sugar was scarce. Unlike today's processed desserts, they were earthy, their skins dusted with grit. Stored in cellars, they lasted months, a bulwark against hunger. Grandmothers baked them into pies, their spice a memory of better days. Sweet potatoes weren't just food, they were strategy, stretching meals with minimal cost. Boiled with greens, they filled bellies, their warmth a balm for cold nights. Families saved slips, each root a promise of next year's harvest. Unlike modern waste, they were used fully. Skins for stock, flesh for cakes. They paired with collards or beans, their color a spark in gray meals. Their scent, rich and caramelized, rose from ovens, knitting families together. In church suppers, they fed crowds, their sweetness a communal embrace. Sweet potatoes were resilience, grown through dust and despair. A sweet potato pie, dusted with nutmeg, carried stories of making do, a taste of endurance in lean times. They were abundance, their flesh a covenant with the land. Their humble warmth fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 24's peppery leaves spiced up bland days. Mustard greens brought fiery zest to Depression-era tables, their sharp leaves a spark in lean times. Grown in cool seasons, they thrived in modest plots, yielding greens with bite. Boiled with ham hocks or eaten raw, they livened bland meals. Unlike today's mild salads, they were bold, their texture gritty with soil. Stored briefly, they pushed quick cooking, teaching thrift. Grandmothers simmered them with onions, their sharpness softening into comfort. Mustard greens weren't just food, they were medicine, packed with nutrients to fight weakness. Mixed greens with cornbread, they stretched meals, filling pots with hearty dishes. Families traded seeds, each leaf a story of survival. Unlike modern excess, stems were greens used for broth, stems for stock. They paired with beans or potatoes, their heat a contrast to mild flavors. Their scent, spicy and warm, rose from stoves, knitting families together. In church basements, mustard green pots fed crowds, their zest a communal lift. They weren't just greens, they were defiance, grown through dust and despair. A bowl of mustard greens, steaming with pork, carried stories of making do, a taste of endurance in lean times. They were vigor, their bite a covenant with the land. Their humble spark fed both body and soul, a testament to grit. Number 25's tender shoots were a springtime gift. Asparagus was a Depression-era delicacy, its tender shoots a springtime gift in lean times. Grown in perennial beds, it thrived with care, yielding spears when winter eased. Steamed or boiled, it brought elegance to bare tables. Unlike today's imported produce, asparagus was local, snapped fresh from soil. Stored briefly, it demanded quick cooking, teaching thrift. Grandmothers sautéed it with scraps, its sweetness a spark in dim kitchens. Asparagus wasn't just food, it was hope, its growth a sign of renewal. Paired with eggs or soups, it stretched meals, its flavor a rare treat. Families tended beds, each spear a story of shared survival. Unlike modern waste, asparagus was used fully, stalks for broth, roots for replanting. It paired with greens or onions, its vibrancy a joy in spring meals. Its scent, fresh and grassy, rose from pots, tying families to the land. In an era of want, asparagus taught patience, its harvest a reward for care. At shared tables, it fed communities, its delicacy a shared bond. An asparagus bundle, steaming with butter, carried memories of spring's promise. It was renewal, its shoots a covenant with the seasons. Its humble elegance fed both body and soul, a testament to resilience. Our outro ties these vegetables to today's gardens today. These 25 vegetables, from gritty roots to wild greens, carried families through the Depression's shadow. They demanded sweat and ingenuity, each bite a lesson in survival. Their flavors, earthy, sweet, or sharp, still echo in heritage. Their stories linger in kitchens. Plant a seed, stir a pot, and taste their resilience. Let's honor our grandparents' grit by reviving these humble heroes. Thanks for watching. Share your favorite veggie in the comments, and let's grow their legacy together.